Hello React Native developers, what is going on? William here, streaming for the very first time from beautiful Zurich, Switzerland. I really wanted to give it a try, and I thought I was on Reddit, on the React Native sub, and I found this post, how to go about this animation, which is an animation which I saw a couple of times already. So since I've seen it a lot already, I thought it would be interesting to try to tackle it live on YouTube. And yeah, so let's have a look. So quite not your typical can it be done in React Native, but yeah, it's just an experiment. So this is the animation, which I think comes from Dribble. No, oops, yeah, it is. So that's the original animation. So you can just slide an emoji, and the face of the emoji is morphing according to the value, the sliding value. So how would I do this in React Native? I think there is really one difficult part, and everything else should be trivial. So in terms of gesture, we have 3 layers. So we have the first layer are the 5 emojis, which are lined up in a row. And then we have the second layer that overlays the first layer, which is this emoji with the morphing face. And the third layer is going to be a transparent scrolling, a transparent scroll view, which is going to drive the translation of the sliding emoji. So we go from 0 to the width of the screen minus the width of the last emoji. Yeah, I mean, if you guys watch Can It Be Done in React Native, you know that I love these to use transparent scroll views and overlay them to drive animations. I think it's an extremely easy way to build some gestures. And then we have the emoji, and so the eyes and the mouth of the emoji morph according to the value, which we know how to do. We've done it before in I think in the Headspace episode, and so we use d3 interpolate path to do the morphing. We are probably going to do the same. And actually now with the latest version of React Native SVG, we can even, so we are going to compute the path so we're going to listen to the animated value on the JavaScript side, compute the interpolation path, and set it to the SVG using set native props, so without triggering a new rendering. So it should be, we are still going to use the JavaScript userland, but it should be quite performant. What is very difficult with this animation, especially for me, because I'm not, I have no expertise in Bezier curve and so on, is to compute is to have for the eyes and the mouth a SVG path that is morphable. So what do I mean by that? It's very cool to see that there are people on the chat. So if I open Sketch here, so I picked five icons from the non project. I should give credit for that. Let me see if I can find the author to credit. So this is credit for these icons. And I think what you would do, let's look for instance at the eye. So we have 3 different shapes for the eye. So it's a line, a round, and then a frowny eyes. I'm not sure that's the correct one. And I think the way you would do it is, but because I'm a noob with this kind of things, is that I would take the most, so apparently, right, of these three eyes, the most complex shape would be this one, and then I would copy it and transform it to try to have the circle, and then try to transform it to have the line. And the reason is that in order to have a SVG path that is morphable, we need the same number of commands and just changing the parameters essentially. So this is, and I would say this is by far the most difficult part of this animation, is to have the proper SVG path. There are some tools which I tested which are pretty great to automatically rework SVG path in order for them to be morphable, but then the way they morph doesn't necessarily feel natural. And I read some articles online, so there are people which have quite good knowledge with Bezier curve and are able to programmatically actually construct such shape using Bezier curves. So then for them it's actually quite easy to do. In my case, I have absolutely no idea how to do it. So the way I would do it is maybe, let's say, copy this one. Oops. And then, so maybe if I make it red. I'm a Bezier curve noob, so please don't make fun of me, but what I would try to do is something like this. Edit, and then I would edit the points to become a circle, which is weird, right? Because here, if I do it manually, it probably never will be a perfect circle, where if you do it programmatically, so we would do something. I have no. So yeah, something like that. But I think what we're gonna do just for this example is we're gonna use a much simpler shape that we know easily how to transform from one state to the other, and yeah, that should give a pretty good idea on how to achieve this animation. So what do you guys think? Can it be done in React Native? Let's have a look. And so I think, so the way I'm gonna start, if you watched my last video, I use this script now to bootstrap new React Native projects. I use TypeScript with Expo, but as well as ESLint rules on top of the JavaScript code. So I think it's only since a couple of days which we can finally use ESLint on top of TypeScript files, which I think is really, really cool, because finally we can use TypeScript, but we can also benefit from the great ESLint plugin for React Native. And we know that in the context of hooks, thank you, man. In the context of hooks, these ESLint plugins are gonna become more and more important. So I really love that we can use TypeScript and ESLint. It's the best of both worlds. It feels a bit like a dream come true. So let's create a new project. Feedback animation. Okay. I cannot believe that 17 people are actually right on the stream right now. I just improvised this. I wanted to test the setup, but what I will do, I think, next week is really to schedule one stream ahead of time, and we'll look at an example together, and we can, you know, have a chat and, you know, go along with an example, a React Native example. Okay. So now installing ESLint. So I can already go in the project folder. All right, so I can start expo as well. Okay, so let's get started. So first, 3 layers, right? So the first layer that contains the 5 emojis, the second layer with the sliding emojis, the third one, which is the transparent scroll view that will drive the animation. Oh, and I forgot to mention one thing. If we go back to the animation, we also, so we have the morphing SVG path, but we have also the color interpolation according to the value of the feedback. And we haven't done color interpolation yet on the channel, but there are some examples in the reanimated repository that we can copy and paste to use. Reanimated is actually so low level as a library that, you know, doing even a simple thing is actually quite, does require a lot of work because this library is extremely low level. But thankfully, there is a lot of examples and higher level construct that we can copy and paste from the repository and that we can use, we can reuse in our code. I mean, already in previous video, we did a lot of copy and paste from reanimated, for instance, to run a spring function, a timing function. Now I use a lot of code from the example repository to do color interpolation. There is an interactable view component, which is extremely useful that we can use to do a lot of things with. So that's what we're gonna do for the color interpolation. So let's get started. So we have our first container, and we'll have, so 5. So we're gonna do flex direction row. And we will have 5 faces. And so to know how the face should look like, we're gonna create an attribute called happiness. So happiness is 0 for the when feedback is terrible, and is 1 when feedback is great. And then we should have 0.25, 0.5, 0.75. So that's our first container. And I should wrap this actually into a root. Oops. I must say my laptop feels pretty laggy right now. I'm not sure if it's like because I have so many things running right now with the webcam, microphone, the streaming software. I'm also recording the iPhone, so we can have a look. But yeah, it doesn't feel super. It feels more laggy than usual. Okay, so that's our first container. The second container is going to be the sliding face. So we're going to use an absolute fill. and then we're gonna translate, or actually gonna create a style for it. And translate X, which will be driven by the scroll view. For now, let's put 0. And we have a face. And the happiness value we will compute from the translation, right? We translate from 0 to width minus the width of the last face. And so at 0, happiness is 0. At width minus width of the last face, happiness is 1. Okay. And then finally, we have our animated scroll view. So we need to import animated from the danger zone of Expo. Perfect. So we have animated scroll view. So again, we use a style sheet absolute fill, and I need to create this style here. So it's an absolute fill as well. And we also need guess justify content center should be good enough. So this one should be good. For the scroll view boilerplate, I always forget, so I'm just gonna copy and paste from previous examples. We need so many things for the okay. Yeah, let's take this guy here. So we have horizontal, that's true. This one we don't need. Snap to interval we don't need. Container style. So I think the width. So it's gonna be width minus, let's call it smiley width, which is gonna be width divided by 5 actually. But okay, let's call it smiley width times 2. I think this one should be good. Bounce is false. On scroll, we need to copy the on scroll event. Scroll event throttle 16 is perfect. Show horizontal scroll indicator false, perfect. So we need the on scroll event. I think we're getting a annoying warning in ESLint disable. Next line. React prefer stateless. Okay. Okay, so width we get from dimensions. And smiley width is width divided by 5, so times 2. I think should be good. Let's see, I'm not 100% sure. And the on scroll event is this guy here. So we need to create an animation value. So I'm gonna need to import value and, oh, sorry. I'm gonna need to import value and event from reanimated. So we can call it X. And then we have our on scroll event. Oops. Where X equals this X. Use native driver true. That's good. So we have, okay. So now that looks good. We need to create the face component, and I think here we need to, because this one is going to be an animated value. Actually, we can set it here directly. So translate X is X. Happiness is okay. We need to do some math here. I hope I don't make a fool of myself live on YouTube. So 0 is 0. Let me do 1. I need to so if we have 0, 0, if we have with minus smiley with, it's 1. So no, X, Y, and so this is happiness. So happiness equals X divided by with minus smiley with, yeah, that makes sense. So it's equal at divide X by with minus smiley with. So here we use divide because we operate on the animated value. So I can just import it here. Okay. Looks good. Let's create the face component. So I'm gonna create a components folder, index, and face. Okay. And okay, sorry. So happiness is actually a value from reanimated. My computer is pretty laggy right now. It's very strange. And now here I think we should use values instead. Okay, so hello guys, for those who are joining, we are trying to implement this effect in React Native. And so right now we've just set up the basic layer, and we're gonna build the face, interpolate the color of the face, and once we're done, we're gonna morph the mouth and the eyes of the face. Actually, let's try just with now interpolating the color of the face. So this looks good. We can have the face here for now. And now we need to have the width also of the face. I think. So let's get the width from dimensions. And face width will be width divided by 5 and minus some padding, maybe 8 pixels. So we would, there would be radius, so that would be this value divided by 2. Let's try. So width is radius times 2, 8 is radius times 2, border radius is radius, and the background color is going to be the animation value that we're going to compute. But maybe let's just try right now if our sliding works properly, and then we can animate the color. So let's have a look. So I should have. Thanks guys, really appreciate it. I cannot believe there are actually 13 people watching the stream I unannounced. That's really cool. It's great to see you guys. So let's see. Okay. My computer is super laggy right now. I'm not sure what's going on. Is it because also I'm recording while streaming? Let me check. Let me stop the recording, see if it makes things better, faster. Okay. Oops. So we have the 5 faces, but they don't. They have no space between them. Flex one. One of the face should move here. Let's see. Okay, much better. Can we move one of the face? No, it doesn't work. Let's simply log the value of x, see what's going on. Why we don't see one of the face translating? Or is it even showing? Okay, let's debug the animation value. So we can use animated code to do that. And so we're going to use call on, oops, on x. And we're going to log the value. Or is it because, let me check. Horizontal, content container style. This one looks good. Let's see. Hello guys. Yeah, let's try to log the value. See first of all if the gesture is handled properly. My computer is really slow right now. Yeah, that seems really to be okay. To be the streaming software that takes a lot of CPU. I'm using a MacBook Pro. I didn't realize that this might not be good enough for live streaming. But okay, so the gesture you see is not recognized because I swipe on the screen and no, it is. It's just very slow basically. So it seems to be recognized, but we don't see anything moving. So let's see. Slider. Okay. Are you guys seeing the mistake right now, or can you tell what's wrong? So okay, so transform. Okay, so now we should see one of the face moving, hopefully. Yes, you see it here. But it doesn't. Okay, so how do we... So the first thing we need, of course, so here, I mean, you cannot see, but I'm sliding from right to left to go to left to right because of the square view, right? If you think about it, so we need to inverse, and I think it's called inverse. Should be called inverse, let's see. So now, no, it's not working. Inversed. Inverted. Okay. Oh. No. Okay, I could swear that there were an option to start at the end somehow. We want the scroll view to be scrolled at the end in order for the gesture to be correct. Scrolls to top. No. So we could use this method, but that's not ideal, but okay, let's try that for now. I'm pretty sure I think there's a better way to do this. Yeah, maybe later what we can do is replace the scroll view by interactable view instead. But should we just maybe... So if we look at the values, we go from 0 . So maybe here we just need to invert. So to multiply translate x equals multiply x by -1. So now it's moving. Can you guys see it? It's moving in the right direction, but the alignment is wrong. So flex, row, center. Justify content shouldn't be center. Oh no, slider. Justify content center. Let me just see what I'm missing. Why is it centered? Justify content. Am I on a column? Align items. Flex start. I'm doing something wrong here. Or am I assuming? Okay. No, but so should be flex and should be not. No, I'm doing this wrong. So should be flex start and shouldn't be multiplied by -1, but should be, it should be with sorry, I'm hiding the phone. Okay, that looks good, but it doesn't go far enough. Should we try with ×2 minus smiley, which actually would make way more sense. Yeah, perfect. So we can remove now the background color. All right, so now we have our basic gesture, basic layer. What's next? We're gonna animate the color of the face, and then we're gonna animate the eyes and the mouth. Okay, so to interpolate the color of the face, we are gonna need to dig into the reanimated examples. And yeah, it's gonna be an animated view. With a background color that we're gonna interpolate using reanimated. So let's dig in. React Native reanimated. And I'm gonna search for color. And this is what we need. So I do prefer TypeScript at the moment. I mean, it's either Flow or TypeScript. You absolutely need types. And I mean, now that TypeScript is supported out of the box by Babel, Now ESLint supports it, Expo supports it. I really prefer TypeScript at the moment because it's a much bigger community. It's a bit more mature. So yeah. So I'm gonna need these guys here. I think actually, let me check. I should have an example somewhere already. Okay. So these, okay, I can copy these helpers here. So I can create a file called animation helpers. Can paste it here. Run Spring and run timing I can remove for now. And the color HSV is copied from this example, and then I have a small helper function which I created based on that, which is using the color module, where you give the animation value, you give an input range, and the output range using color as strings, and we use the color module to parse the color, create the HSV value, and then finally we can use the color HSV from reanimated to get the color node. Yeah, and this is because there's a color node in reanimated where you give blue, green, red. But if you want to interpolate, this value doesn't feel natural to the eye. So in order for the interpolation to look natural to the eye, we go to the HSV color code. So that's what this function does. And I'm gonna need to import color. I should have it somewhere. Yeah. Did I miss something? Yeah, here it is, but oh, I have it okay already, so I just need to install it. Sorry about that. Yarn add color. So let's try this function. So const background colors equals interpolate color. Value is happiness. Input range goes from 0 to it's more than 0 to 1. So if we look at the colors we need, we have no, it does seem to okay. So you see from okay to great is the same color. So actually let me just write input range, output range. So input range goes from 0 to 0.5. So at OK it's yellow, and const output range, and let's pick the colors. So when it's terrible, this is the color, and when it's good, this is the color. Let's import this one. Let me check that we use extrapolate, clamp, perfect. And let's have a look. Oh, this doesn't. Okay. So the faces. So this looks good. And you see the color is nicely interpolated, right? But if I go back to the, okay, if it's not an animated value, it should actually be gray. So let's have an override on the background color. So if the props exist, we use the background color. If not, we interpolate. And we have background color from the props. Which we can set here. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do something else. Actually, I'm gonna add a static property because we're gonna use this in some other sub-components. So that's more scalable if I call this property static. Okay. So if it's static, we are going to use a color which is I'm so glad you guys are here on the live stream. I really didn't expect anyone to join, so I'm so happy. Up. Yes. Okay, let's have a look. So we have, it doesn't align perfectly. That's not good. But then the color interpolates nicely. Why? Yeah, I think I know why. So this one looks good. So we've divided by 5. And let me check. Yeah, perfect. Now it's aligned. Cool. Okay, so now let's do the morphing. Let's do the hard part. So we have the face, which we're gonna split in two, right? Because we have the eyes and right, we're gonna split. So we have the eyes and the mouth. So we're gonna need a view for the eye. So we have one eye, two eye. And we have the mouth. So eyes, mouth. Eyes is flex, direction, row, and justify content, align evenly. Space evenly, sorry. Mouth, justify content, center, align items, center. So we need now to create the mouth and eye component. My computer okay, you see it's so slow I cannot even access my code snippets. It's pretty bad even when I type. I'm so surprised that you would think, I mean, I have like a top-notch MacBook Pro 13 inches. I would think it would be good enough, but strange, very strange. So that's the eye, and we need to do the mouth. It's so crazy. But so people who live stream and play video games, so they need, I mean, I'm just typing text right now. So people who play video game at the same time, what kind of computer do they have? Or maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. It's insane. Okay. Let's do the mouth now. So we go back to Sketch. So as you could tell earlier, I really struggled to, manually trying to transform one shape to the other was very complicated. So what I suggest we could do, maybe, let's put the eye first. So we just have, so what I can do is do copy SVG. And then I like to use play SVG, this guy, so I can copy and paste code from Sketch to React Native. So I can paste this guy here, select React Native. That looks good. So we import SVG from Expo. the view box in case we need to change, so we can change the width and the height independently. So I set it to 8.8. It's looking good. Actually, can I just run it to see? No, that's not looking good. Oh, that's the mouth. Sorry. Okay. All right. So align item center. Maybe we can even make it bigger, I don't know. Okay. So for the mouth, let's do something very simple because I'm a noob with Bezier curves. Can I have the grid? So let's draw a line. Is that good? Okay. Okay. Let's have a point in the middle. So this would be okay, and then we have, oops. Then we have great and terrible. Okay. So great. This is not in the center. Sorry. Okay. These guys should be here. So we have great. Here, like this. And then we have terrible. Like so, and we know, so here we have 3 SVG path, and we know that because these have the same number of commands and the same commands, just different parameters, we know that we can morph one another very easily. So let's just maybe copy this one. See how it looks. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get the happiness as value parameter from animated. Oh, sorry. We need to create the view box so we can change width and the height properly. So 0, 0, 365, 84. And here so we have the ratio. The aspect ratio is 84 divided by 365. So the width is, we need dimensions. Minus 24, maybe, I don't know. It's just, and height equals width times aspect ratio. Let's have a look. Hey, not too bad. Maybe we should increase this guy here. No, maybe that's too much. I don't know. Maybe. So the problem here is because we use, okay. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Oh, I need to fill none, I need to keep it. So you see, of course, part of the half actually of the stroke is lost here. I should use a fill instead, but for now let's keep it this way. And now let's do the morphing. And for the morphing, since we've done this already in another episode, I'm gonna copy and paste the code from the can it be done in React Native example, but I know already that I need to keep a reference of the path because we're going to use set native props to set the path value. So this, oops. So React create ref we're gonna listen. So now we need to listen to the animated value and go back to the JavaScript userland. So I'm gonna use animated code to do that. Animated code. So call on happiness. Yes, that's good. This interpolate path. So we have interpolate path function which receives happiness as parameter. And in face I need to pass the value. No, I have a typo here. It's happiness. No, it's with 2p. Huh? Yeah, I think it's correct. Okay. I need to import call from animated. Thanks, man. And I probably have the typo here as well. And okay, so now let's interpolate some SVG path. So can it be done in React Native? And that was the headspace meditation example. Progress component. So we need this module. And so we're gonna need to import this function. So we need to give it two paths. So I'm gonna try a first thing. I'm gonna give it only two paths, the one that is unhappy and the one that is happy. Let's see if at 0.5 we get the neutral phase. I think we should. I think it should look exactly as expected, but let's try. So const interpolator equals terrible to great. So we need the terrible path. So this is a bit better than the headspace video, because in the headspace video at the time we had to trigger a re-rendering every time. Now we don't have to do this. And of course, here we use JavaScript to do the interpolation, but you could use another technique like using After Effects and Lottie, or I think there's this new library. But I was thinking about using 2 dimensions as well, which I'm really looking forward to explore as a library. But also this is going to require some JavaScript code, so it won't make it better. They don't have yet a React Native integration. But so yeah, basically you would use, the other option would be to use Lottie and After Effects. Assuming that using Lottie we can programmatically set the progress of the animation, which I assume we can. But anyways, this one, which path did we take? We take the happy one, so this is a great path. And this is terrible. So we have our interpolator. We need to give it a value that is 0 to 1, which is exactly what happiness is. I mean, let me check. Interpolator. Oh. Yes. So we give it happiness. We get a path as parameter, and then we can set it using set native props. So we use current because it's create ref, and then set native props D. Let's have a look. Yeah, so here you see the 5 faces, and it's nicely morphing as well as the color. Pretty cool, no? What do you guys think? So here we use the very, very simple shape for the face because that's the only one I know how to build and to interpolate. So you would need, if you want to do the same thing with more complex shapes, it's something you need to research. Yeah, I think it requires quite some learning in order to be able to, to programmatically, looking at these different shapes and how you can express them in the same set of Bezier curves. And that would be also the same for the eyes. But here you have the gesture, the color interpolation, and as well as the SVG path morphing done using set native props. So we don't trigger a set state every time we move things around, and we can move things around, you see, like crazy. It's no problem. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I'm so happy you guys joined. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna upload the example on Snack and on the Can It Be Done in React Native repository. Let me know your feedback. And yeah, I think this was really fun to do the live streaming. I think I'm gonna do another one which I will schedule in advance in case you guys want to join. And I think in the next one I will do something extremely simple, so we can have room to to chat and answer questions and so on. So yeah, that's it guys. I'm signing off. Talk to you guys soon, and in the meantime, happy hacking.